Hello YouTubers, I just want to greet you, believing and hoping that you are all fine and ready to do this as you're preparing yourselves to meet the examinations, your ordinary level examinations, more specific. I know that this question is going to help many people, maybe those who are doing Form 3, grade 10 or so ever, or grade 9. Alright, so what we are going to do is we are going to be looking at the question in the screen, and this question is reading y is equals to 3x plus 2 all over 2x minus 1, and then what we are required to do is to rearrange the formula to make x the subject of the formula. Okay, I'm going to tell you how are we going to do the breakdown of this question. I believe you guys are ready to know how do we do that. So there are some rules or mathematical principles that we are going to follow as we'll be doing this. Let me just show you them one by one. Okay, the first method is to express both sides as fractions. Second method is to cross multiply both the values so that you can remove fractions. The third one is to collect like terms using the balance method and then simplify. Finally, we will remove any coefficients, squares, fractions using the balance method. Remember, this process will always be found at the end, so it marks the end of it. So this is going to be a very, very simple question which I adapted from one of the question papers or the Cambridge question papers, and it was containing 4 marks. Let us see how do we collect all the 4 marks using these 4 stages. Okay, right, so the first stage in trying to simplify this thing is what you call expressing both sides as fractions. So let us do that very quickly together as a family. All right, writing or expressing y as a fraction, it becomes y over 1. That's what we do to express y as a fraction. Any number is expressed as a fraction in the form of that number itself over 1. Okay, the right side of the equation is balanced already, so we write it as 3x plus 2, and then we say all this over 2x minus 1. There is no changes on this part. Okay, so when you're done with this, I can say, guys, thumbs up, you have done the first stage correctly of expressing both sides as fractions. What I want to tell you is that the only thing you adjusted is to put this thing to your equation. Otherwise the rest is the same. All right, but it makes you have done the question thoroughly. Let us quickly jump to stage 2, whereby we are going to cross multiply to remove fractions. That's the most important part of it, whereby we are now taking we are taking y and multiplying 2x minus 1, and then we say equals 1 multiplying 3x plus 2. All right, there is one thing that I want you guys to know, that there is no bracket, but the reason why I did put brackets here is that y is multiplying not one thing but everything in the denominator. So make sure that everything is put into a bracket to show that y is affecting all of them. In like manner, 1 is not affecting 3x alone or 2 alone, but is affecting all of them. So make sure that you put them in also brackets to show that they are both being affected by 1. That's one of the warnings that I want you guys to heed. Many students fail to put brackets, and when they're now simplifying it, they get wrong answers, and you have, so those simple and small error. Okay, so I don't want you guys to have also those things. Make sure whenever you are affecting more than one term, you put a bracket on that. Okay, let me now do this. So before we go any further, we need to try and expand these brackets so that they can be in simplest form. How do we expand them? Y multiplies the inside part, meaning to say we will have 2y x and then minus y equals 3 x plus 2. This is well multiplied. So when you are here, guys, we just say that you have now finally done cross multiplication and is well done. Perfect. Now that stage 1 and stage 2 is done, we need to move to stage 3, which is saying now collect like terms using the balance method and then simplify. So what you are going to do when you are collecting like terms, I want you to go back again to the question. It is reading rearrange the formula to make x. So it is very important to know that we want x to be the subject, so meaning to say our main subject or the subject of concern is x. So when you are collecting like terms, we want to make sure that anything that has got x is put to one side. Let us quickly do that. All right. Okay, guys, so to do that, it is very simple. We are going to start by writing 2yx. All right, and then we bring 3x to the same side as 2yx because they are terms in x. Remember, there is a law also which says when a number crosses the equal sign, its sign changes. That's under the balance method. So let us put it minus 3x. Okay, now having done with that, this means the rest will go to their own side. So what we are doing is we don't want to see y in this side. Remember, y is not only y, it's y and his sign, meaning to say we don't want to see this negative y. Negative y must cross the border and go to numbers that has no x. Now doing that also means when y crosses the equal sign, its sign changes, becomes a positive y. Let me just write as y, and then plus 2 didn't cross, so remains plus 2. That's what you do. Now the next stage after doing this is what they are calling simplifying. So how do we simplify? And I want you guys to notice that whenever they say simplify, they are trying to ask you to reason out whether you are going to do collection of like terms, or in collection of like terms, let me just say addition and subtraction. Okay, or else you are going to be expanding brackets. If you are not expanding brackets, then it means you are factorizing. If it's not a matter of factorizing, then it's a matter of applying algebraic fractions. Okay, guys, these are what you call the main methods of simplifying in mathematics, or of simplifying expressions in mathematics. So what you are going to do is this. Having these methods, we need to choose which one do you think is applicable to this stage. Let us do that. Okay, so looking at my equation, I see that the left side can be factorized by taking out x, which is the required subject, and then I'll be left with 2y minus 3. But the right side, I cannot simplify it. It remains y plus 2. That's the method I use to simplify. After that, what am I going to do? Because I'm done with simplifying, that's when I'm going to apply the fourth method, or the fifth rule, which is saying remove any coefficients, squares, or fractions using the balance method. Let us see how do we do that. Now before I jump to that, guys, I want to tell you what is a coefficient. When I write 2 here, okay, let's say I have got 2m. All right, m is the letter that is in the question, so anything that is attached to m becomes what you call the coefficient. So here the letter in question, or the most important or the key subject in our question, is what? The key subject, as they said, is x. So what we need to do is to make sure that x is separated from anything. So anything that's attached to x by multiplication is a coefficient. So in this regard, we mean that we are going to divide both sides by the bracket, which is reading 2y minus 3. That's removing the coefficient, and then we do the same thing again to the right side, because what you do to the left side, do also to the right side. That's the balance method. So what you're doing is we divide this one 2y minus 3 also to this side, so that now the bracket on top will cancel the bracket at the bottom, and then you get your answer. Having cancelled these, you would find out that your answer is going to become x is equals to y plus 2 all over 2y minus 3. Guys, look at it. It is very nice and smart. We have managed to isolate x and leave the other side with no x. That's what we do when we are trying to make x the subject of the formula. Guys, I hope you did understand all these things and how do we apply the methods from the first rule, second rule, third rule, and the fourth rule. More questions may come, and they are of this nature. You know, if I get a chance, I will also try some more complicated questions on the changing of the subject of formula. If you have liked this video, guys, and you enjoyed it, do not forget then to be part of the family. Simply click that subscribe button and then hit the notification bell, so that whenever I upload content to this YouTube channel, you'll be able to be the first to view the content while it's still fresh. Let's meet next time. Sharp guys, wish you good luck.